why don't we go ahead and call the meeting to order? And Stephanie, if you take the roll call.
Ms. Dunn,
Here.
Mr. Stovall,
Here.
Dr. Mueller,
Here.
Mr. Neptune.
Here.
Through to the chair, we have a quorum.
Okay, great, thank you. And hopefully everybody's had a chance to take a look at the consent calendar. Anything that we would like to take off the consent calendar, or do we have a motion on the consent calendar?
I'll move to approve it.
Okay, so motion by Blaine, do we have a second?
I'll second it. That's fine.
Okay. A second by Nancy, yeah. Stephanie?
Okay, Ms. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Stovall,
Yes.
Dr. Mueller,
Yes.
Mr. Neptune.
Yes.
Through to the chair, motion passes.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Let's see, do we have anyone from Chevron yet?
Looks like someone named Lance has arrived.
Yes, I think he's with Chevron.
Okay,
Okay, let's wait till he. There we go. Welcome, Lance. You're on mute, so I think
right,
you're up
thank
here. In a
Can you hear
second.
me now? This is Lance Erickson from Chevron.
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you now. That's good. That's good. It's not even Verizon, so that's.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, why don't we, all those who will be testifying today, would please raise your right hand and respond. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you should give in the matters before this board shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You?
Okay, I think all responded affirmatively. Okay, so let's see, Estella, do you have Chevron?
I do.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Estela Soto, and I am an air quality specialist here with the district. And before you, we have Chevron. Chevron operates equipment associated with the production and storage of crude oil and gas at the CAN 3 oil plant within the Lost Hills oil field. The facility utilizes a series of tanks to receive, process, and ship crude oil. The tanks are connected to a vapor recovery system that collects the vapors and sends them to a disposal device. A well vent casing collection system also collects vapors from the well vents and routes them to the disposal device. As required by district rules and permit conditions, the tanks are required to be controlled by a functional and operating vapor recovery system and be maintained in a leak-free condition at all times. The systems rely on electrical power from PG&E to operate properly. PG&E has communicated to Chevron that there will be an interruption of power to the Lost Hills field on or October 12, 2022, so that PG&E can replace the 70 kV pole and to perform upgrades on Highway 46. Therefore, Chevron has requested a short variance from the applicable requirements of district rules in addition to applicable conditions of the subject permits. The requested variance would be for a non-consecutive 24-hour period to occur sometime between December 1st, 2022 and January 1st, 2023 inclusive. If granted, the variance would allow Chevron to continue to store VOC-containing liquids in the subject tanks without an operating or functional VRS while PG&E conducts the proposed work. The district believes that the required findings as set forth in the California Health and Safety Code can be made and recommends that Chevron be granted the short variance with the conditions on pages 4, 5, and 6 of the staff report. And that concludes the district's presentation.
Okay, thank you, Estella. Any questions for Estella?
Yeah, this is Blaine. Estella, did you say The power was shut down October 12th. That
Oh,
would've
you're
been-
on mute, Estella.
Sorry, I said December 12th,
Oh, okay, thank you,
on or about December 12th. I'm sorry.
thank you.
Okay. Other questions? Okay, if not, I think Mr. Erickson, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, thank you for the presentation. I think that covered everything we need covered, and Chevron is agreeable to the conditions in the staff report.
Okay, thank you, Lance. Any questions for Lance? Okay, with that, let me ask first, Mr. Miller, you're on, or Dr. Miller, you're on, there you go.
I'm on mute there. I do have a question. That proposed timeline that you asked for the variance, is that long enough? Are we sure that PG&E will get the work done for you?
We've PG&E is notorious for not getting things back on when they're supposed to for us. Their original estimate, though, is it's going to be about 8 hours continuous, and that's what we expect it to be. I've requested 24 hours to add because of their ability to extend that, and we have no control over it.
But I mean that you're asking for that variance for I think December 1st to January 1st. Are you sure PG&E will get there at that time?
That's what they've notified us for
Okay.
at this time, is the December 12th date. We're a little nervous about having it, that it could move into early January before the next hearing board. But we feel at this time that they're going to be doing it sometime in December.
Okay.
And we'll have to work with the district if it turns out that it moves into January before the next hearing board.
Mm.
All right.
Okay. Other questions or comments? Okay, let me just ask first if we have any public questions or comments.
I do not see any indication of public comment.
Okay, there being no public comment, we'll go ahead and close the hearing and see if we have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Blaine, the floor is yours.
I move to approve Chevron's petition for a short variance set forth in docket number S2218S with the required 6 findings of the Health and Safety Code adopted by reference as set forth in the staff report. The variance shall be for a non-consecutive 24-hour period between December 1st, 2022 and January 1st, 2023, or until the URS is returned to compliant operation, whichever comes first, and shall be subject to the conditions on pages 4 to 6 of the staff report.
Okay, thank you, Blaine. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, second by Nancy. Then, so Stephanie, take the roll.
Okay, Ms. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Stovall,
Yes.
Dr. Mueller. I think you're on mute, Dr.
Oh,
Mueller.
is that, yeah, mute, Doc.
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Neptune.
Yes.
Due to the chair, motion passes.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lance. Thank you, Estella.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go then to S2219S, which is Era Energy LLC. And I'm guessing, Chris, this may be yours since you're off mute. And let's see, we have Mr. Lee, and was there someone else? Stephen, is there someone else from Era? You're on mute.
Yes, Aaron's online.
Okay, great. And I think actually you were on mute when we did the swearing in. You did respond affirmatively to that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's go then to Chris. And Chris, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Chris Kalash, and I'm an air quality specialist here with the Air District. Before you this morning is ERA, and ERA has crude oil production operations within the Lost Hills oil field. Water and gases are produced with the crude oil and treated at ERA's dehydration facilities in their gas plant. And ERA also utilizes the Section 13 cogeneration facility, or as I'll refer to as Cogen 13 for the remainder of this presentation, to produce steam and electricity for the production operations. On August 6, 2021, ERA placed Cogen 13's unit number 6 in a dormant status with the district. And on September 15th of this year, of 2022, ERA started the process of returning Unit 6 to operational status. One of the requirements they have to meet is that upon startup of that unit, they have 60 days to conduct startup source testing. So by using that September 15th, 2022 date, the last date they would have to test would be November 14th of 2022. However, to date, ERA's operational staff have been unable to keep the unit running reliably enough to conduct the required source testing. Some of these issues include the electrical interconnection safety systems, the integrated burner management controls, and turbine control systems. There have been delays as well because of availability of specialists that are needed to conduct the work on those systems that I stated above. There was startup source testing that was scheduled for October 25th, 2022. But there were some issues that were unforeseen, like the ones I'd mentioned above. And also there were issues getting their vendor out there due to their scheduling conflicts as well. ERA has requested a short variance from the applicable requirements of district rules in addition to the applicable conditions of the subject permits. This requested variance would be from November 9th, 2022 until December 31st, 2022. If granted, the variance would allow ERA to postpone their compliance source testing until the repairs are made. And again, I should stress that the last date that they can source test without violating that is November 14th of 2022. Without this protection, ERA would be subjected to monetary penalties for not conducting the startup testing by that November 14th, 2022 due date. In addition to that, there are no excess emissions that are expected to occur as a result of this variant. District believes required findings as set forth in the California Health and Safety Code can be made, recommends that ERA be granted the conditions on pages 3 and 4. This concludes the district's presentation.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Any questions for Chris? Okay, if not, Mr. Lee, anything you'd like to add on behalf of ERA? You're on mute.
No, nothing at this time. I just appreciate all of your time.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. Any questions for Mr. Lee? Okay, hearing none. Do we have any public comments?
Due to the chair, there is no public comment.
Okay. There being no public comment, we will go ahead and close the hearing and see if we have a motion.
Also move. I move to approve a short variance to ERA Energy LLC Lost Hills as set forth in this docket number S-2219S with the required 6 findings in the Health and Safety Code of the staff report. This variance shall be from November 9th, 2022 until December 31st, 2022, or until ERA initiates a source test of the unit, whichever occurs first. And of course, this is variance is also subject to those conditions on pages 3 and 4 of the staff report herein.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay, that was Dr. Mueller. Thank you,
Yeah.
Doc. So do we have, I guess we're ready. Stephanie, if you want to take the roll.
Okay, Ms. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Stovall,
Yes.
Dr. Mueller,
Yes.
Mr. Neptune.
Yes.
Due to the chair, motion passes.
Okay, great. So it's granted. Thank you, Chris and Mr. Lee, thank you very much. So that's the end of the hearings. Let's go first to public comments. This time is made available for comments from the public on matters within the board's jurisdiction that are not on the agenda. It's requested that no comments be made during this period on items on the agenda. The public may make comments after each board agenda item during the time allowed for public comment. Additionally, state law prohibits the hearing board from acting on matters that are not on the agenda. So, I don't know, Stephanie, any public comment out there?
I do not see any indication of public comment.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Hearing board member comments. Just a great job as always. Good to see Azella again. I recognize her as the fellow attorney around. Appreciate that. Okay. There is no new business, I guess. So our next hearing will be December 14, 2022. Thank you, everyone, for again a great job as always. So our meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.